I've listened to the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem for a month.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spin It, the record ranking podcast for people who would rather be listening to music. I'm James, and with me, the fake Slim Shady, it's Connor.
You don't know I'm not the real Slim Shady.
I do, though, I think.
I don't know. Ask me to stand up.
Well, would the real Slim Shady please stand up?
I realize now this is an audio-only podcast.
Yeah, I can't tell whether you stood up.
And so you do not know if I'm sitting or standing. Do I sound like I'm standing right now?
No. Yeah, you sound like you're sitting.
You have a sit-stand desk, so you could be doing either. Maybe you're the real Slim Shady.
I'm certainly not. I'll tell you what, I'm beginning to feel like a rap pod. We've done quite a few hip-hop artists. But I'm excited for Eminem, and here's why. Do you know why?
Tell me why.
That's a whole different...
I know it's not Eminem.
Genre, a whole different thing. Imagine if that was Eminem.
Listen, whenever I hear the question why, that's what I think of.
Well, the reason is because since the very beginning of our rap episodes, I mean, like Chance the Rapper and before, I think, you've claimed Eminem as a rapper that you particularly like.
I do like Eminem.
See? And so we're in Mixtober, and I was like, this is the perfect storm. It's episode 222, and so, I don't know, for some reason, Eminem feels appropriate for 222, like repeating sounds and syllables. I don't know. It just seems to make sense in my head. What Eminem do you know? Any album cuts or just big hits?
The blue one. Just hits. There is an album by him. I know. Hang on, let me... yeah, I know the Eminem Show. I know a lot of songs from that one.
Oh, I haven't quite made it up to that one yet.
I don't think I've ever listened to it all the way through. I've probably heard a lot more Eminem songs. Like, I've probably heard, like, whole albums just from having buddies who also were into Eminem and would put them on. So, this is an artist I probably have listened to whole albums of unintentionally.
Wow. Yeah, when I first found out that you were into Eminem and you liked him, I was like, I gotta start listening.
Don't get me wrong, it's no Downtown by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, but
goodness,
it's my favorite rap song of all times. Hip-hop rap song of all time.
An interesting choice.
I'm an interesting fella.
True. Yeah, I knew all the Mom Spaghettis and the Lose Yourselves and the Rap Gods and even the Real Slim Shadys.
Eminem's just always cracked me up as an artist as well. Like, he does some real funny stuff.
Yes, and when I knew that you liked him, I was like, I gotta listen to some albums so we could do a good episode on him for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I started with the Slim Shady LP. That was my first real Eminem listening experience, like most of the world that was around when Eminem came out. And I gotta tell you, I mean, that was a real experience. And it was kind of a lot. I don't know if you can tell this about me by the episodes that we've done over the last 223 weeks, but Eminem was kind of a lot compared to my usual listening. And I was like, man, wow, I got to give it more of a chance. You know, I got to dig deeper. And so I moved into the Marshall Mathers LP. There's more that I'm going to get into in the future, but so far that's my Eminem experience. The big hits and then working my way through the back catalog one record at a time. I was impressed with the Marshall Mathers LP, given some of my thoughts about the Slim Shady LP. I was like, I came into this one, honestly, a little cynical. And I was kind of surprised by what I found here. Well, what do you know about Eminem?
What don't I know?
I, as usual, have no clue.
You know, for a long time on this podcast, I searched for a slogan.
Yeah.
And I tried a lot of different things. And I think naturally we've just settled on what don't I know as my catchphrase.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I say it a lot, usually in jest.
Yes.
But maybe in this time, not so much.
Yeah, you don't think you know a lot about Eminem?
No, the opposite. I usually say it in jest because I don't know anything. But this time, I say it not in jest.
Yeah.
I do know a decent amount about good old Marshall Mathers.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've eaten tons of M&Ms.
But for those who aren't in the know, why don't you go ahead and tell them?
I'll fill you all in. Okay, this is a public service announcement. M&Ms are a color-varied, sugar-coated chocolate confectionery made by Mars Wrigley in 1941.
How much are you going to beat this horse?
To death, but no further.
But no further. Listen, you don't look a horse in its mouth if it's a gift, and you don't beat it after it's dead. Those are the two rules of horses.
The two, and you can lead it to water, but you can't make it drink.
Oh.
3 rules of horses.
Yeah, you can't force it to drink. There are 3 rules to horses. If you want a horse, you got to know the 3 rules.
And you got to hold them.
Yeah, and don't let them play.
Okay, last thing. The horse is still alive, I promise. Apparently, 2 days ago, M&M's unveiled a new flavor.
Whoa, really?
Honey roasted peanut.
Oh, that does sound decent. Mm-hmm. You want to know what my favorite M&Ms always were? I mean, me and my family would go nuts over them every time they were in season.
Sure.
It was the...
Whoa, and the horse is dead. All right, moving on.
Yep, you're right. Sorry, he just died. Can't beat him anymore. Let's move on.
Wait, but I kind of want to know.
Let's better start doing some CPR. Maybe by the end of the episode, the horse will be back.
How am I supposed to do mouth to mouth? I can't look in there.
You just close your eyes.
We'll find out your favorite M&M flavor later. That was a little teaser for the future.
We'll work on saving the horse's life throughout the episode. And when he's back with us, we'll get the answer.
Yes, the real Slim Shady. Marshall Bruce Mathers III was not made in 1941 like the candy. He was born in Missouri in 1972. His mother was in labor with him for literally 73 hours. Like, she almost died giving birth to Eminem.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, right. That's such a long time. I'm thinking, what was I doing 73 hours ago? It was a whole different day.
It was multiple days.
Yep. You could listen to the Marshall Mathers LP 45.6 times for the amount of time that she was in labor.
That's impressive. Did you have the squirrels do that math for you?
I did it myself, so take it with a grain of salt.
So yeah, gotta be careful with that self math.
I know. Well, Eminem's parents, Marshall Sr., who I guess would have been Marshall II, and Debbie Nelson, they were in a band together briefly. Eminem's dad actually left before he was 2 years old, and he was pretty much raised in poverty by his single mother. He tried to reach out and write to his dad when he was a kid, but the letters never made it, never did reconnect. Eminem and his mom traveled from state to state to state to try and make ends meet. They would jump from family member to family member across the Midwest, and by the time he was 12, by the time he was turning from a mini Eminem into a full-fledged Eminem, he would live in 6 different cities, finally landing in a black neighborhood in Detroit. How do you feel about the mini M&Ms? Are they better than the big ones?
Mini M&Ms are far superior. The chocolate to candy coating ratio is far superior in a mini M&M.
I kind of agree, but I eat them so much less often.
That's because they're less common, which also adds to the rarity of the experience, adds to the enjoyment.
Right. Yeah, but I also just eat them a few at a time. Like, I don't ever dump the tube into my mouth.
Yeah, me neither. I never understood that. That's just too much. But a little handful of them.
Yeah.
Pop them all in there. They're just better.
Unlike the rapper Eminem, the M&Ms get better when they're smaller.
I'm also controversially a fan of the peanut M&M over the regular M&M.
I don't know if that's so controversial. I think that's just different people like them differently. I don't agree with it myself, but I wouldn't fault anyone for thinking it. Don't you worry, Eminem the rapper, he hasn't gone peanuts yet. That happens later in his career. Well, Eminem and his mother, they're living in tense circumstances, and so they're dealing with a little bit of relational tension between them as well.
I only have 9 circumstances.
Instead of tense circumstances, you only know 9s.
Yeah, stupid joke.
Boy, oh boy, that was a rough joke.
Yeah.
Well, Eminem was going through it. He was subject to a lot of bullying, and he even picked up some pretty, severe head injuries from other kids, to the point that his mom straight up sued the school district at one point. Although, as we'll talk about later, Eminem's mom was a little sue-happy sometimes. She sued him at one point.
Wild.
I know.
You get a sue, and you get a sue.
Yeah. He was always a storyteller at heart, which is a thing that he carried on into his songs and his lyrics, even the overarching narratives from record to record. He was always a storytelling kid. His initial ambitions as a kid were to write and draw comic books, which is very cool, but very involved too. But of course, he first encountered his true love, rap music, when he was a young teenager. He received the soundtrack for the movie Breakin' about breakdancing, and he started listening to that and loved it. When he was 14, he paired up with his friend Mike, and they started rapping as Mannix and Eminem, spelled like the candy, M&M. He wouldn't settle into his current spelling for quite some time, but he was still using M&M. They would do open mic nights all around Detroit, and his biggest claim to fame as an up-and-coming rapper was his internal rhymes. When Eminem was rapping, he wanted as many lyrics to rhyme as possible, which was really good practice for him, cutting his chops, and that's a thing that he's kept up throughout his career. That's pretty much his whole gimmick, is just internal rhymes, mid-sentence rhymes. You'll notice that a lot on all the lyrics here. In 1988, Letter Eminem morphed into MC Double M, who joined the group New Jacks, or better known as Soul Intent. He was releasing EPs with them throughout the mid-90s. But meanwhile, though, Eminem signed with FBT Productions as a solo rapper, and he put out his debut album called Infinite in 1996, which, shocking no one, totally flopped.
Yeah, it didn't shock anybody, probably.
No. First albums from an up-and-coming rapper probably often do. So Eminem starts getting frustrated and angry with the industry. Not to mention he's still having a rough time in life. He and his girlfriend, Kim Scott, they lived in a tough neighborhood and they kept getting robbed. He was working long hours in like less than glamorous jobs. He was cooking food, washing dishes, grinding for more than 60 hours a week to support Kim and his newborn daughter, Haley. In Eminem's frustration about his circumstances, he starts to add this new dimension to his lyrics. He gets mad and he starts to sing about violence and drugs and really gruesome stuff, just to kind of vent some of that tension that he's seeing in the world around him. He created an alter ego that you probably know well, that he called Slim Shady. Slim Shady is, Eminem's violent persona that he uses to rap about things. Whereas, like, Marshall Mathers is the Eminem that raps about personal stuff, and Eminem is kind of just in the middle. Lots of different characters in the Eminem universe. But all that content, all that over-the-top, violent, gruesome stuff is what really starts to turn heads, because nobody's rapping like that in 1995. Eminem released the Slim Shady EP in early 1997, and he kept grinding. He entered regional and even national rap battles in Cincy and Los Angeles. At the National Rap Olympics, Eminem came in second place.
First loser.
Eminem was the first loser of the Rap Olympics that year. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's first loser. But while he's doing this rap battle, this Olympics, an intern from Interscope Records is there, and he hears Eminem and he's really impressed. So he takes a copy of the Slim Shady EP and he runs it up the chain to none other than the legendary Dr. Dre. Dre said, "In my entire career in the music history, I've never found anything from a demo tape or a CD. When Jimmy played this, I said, find him now." I mean, that's an impression.
Yeah.
So Eminem signed to Interscope, and he turned the Slim Shady EP into the Slim Shady LP in February of 1999. That's his sophomore album. And that was the first Eminem album, like I said, that I listened to. And musically, it is strong. Dr. Dre himself contributed to a lot of the production. It's got a really distinct feel to it. Lyrically, the album is gritty. He covers a range of topics. Everything from like accidentally drugging a girl with shrooms. He plays a shoulder angel and a devil about sexual assault. He talks about murdering his wife and dumping her body in the ocean. That's the song 97 Bonnie and Clyde. Maybe you've heard it. That one's popular, but I don't think it's like a hit.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Okay. Well, music critic Stephen Erlewine said, "There have been more violent songs in rap, but few more disturbing. And it's not because of what it describes, it's how he describes it. How the perfectly modulated phrasing enhances the horror and black humor of his words." It's so interesting. Like, what Eminem is making are known as transgressive works. It's stuff he's making that's just meant to make people mad, meant to cause offense, and shock you and rub you kind of the wrong way. Some critics have called Eminem a human middle finger. And in spite of all of that, in spite of the human middle fingerness of this kid from Detroit, the Slim Shady LP does numbers. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, and its singles, like My Name Is, were Eminem's first taste of the Hot 100 with his work as well. By the year's end, the Slim Shady LP went platinum and sold 1 million units, and it would win the Grammy for Best Rap Album, and My Name Is earned the Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance. By 2000, by the time the Marshall Mathers LP is coming out, his second record would be 4 times platinum. And the thing is, like, it's satirical. Eminem is playing a character. He's over the top. He said that his lyrics are essentially like watching a horror movie. But for some reason, people got all bent out of shape when they heard that sort of stuff in their music rather than on a screen. Like, it's meant to rock you and shock you and make you uncomfortable. Like, that's a part of it. That's a feature of what Eminem's trying to do. And if you go into his music with the right perspective and the right mindset, like, that's all well and good. But a lot of big Eminem fans missed that memo and started to take his lyrics literally at face value, and that really caught Eminem off guard. And the media and everyone suddenly starts demonizing Eminem, and they're like, look at this vile filth he's putting in his lyrics. And people were, taking it too seriously. And so he explores that dynamic a lot on the Marshall Mathers LP, which is what we're digging into today. You know, he's suddenly famous, he's making graphic content, and people are pushing back against him. So the Marshall Mathers LP kind of ends up being very reflective, very introspective, and still like super intense, right? Maybe even more so in a lot of ways than his second record, but it's also more introspective and thoughtful. And I really liked that aspect of it. The Slim Shady LP was so big and so successful that when he was starting to make the Marshall Mathers LP, he was able to start his own label, aptly named Shady Records. And that's what he would use to create this third record. Now, of course, Eminem is going to stick with what he does best, because it's just what he does. Still crass, crude, gross, gory. But then, in addition to all that stuff with, like, fame and critics and all that, his own mother, like I said, she tried to sue him for $10 million. Like, the whole world is turned against Eminem.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah. People are saying he's a misogynist, that he's promoting domestic violence, that he's a hack, and yet, like, millions of people are buying his music. How do you navigate that dynamic? Mm-hmm. And it was isolating for him, too. He said, I don't trust anybody now because everybody I meet is meeting me as Eminem. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're hanging with me because they like me or because I'm a celebrity or because they think they can get something from me. And that's so stressful. And so the Marshall Mathers LP is a really strikingly vulnerable peek behind the curtain because he kind of loses that Slim Shady alter ego. I mean, enough to put his real name as the title of this album. We're getting a glimpse of the real guy behind the character of Eminem.
Yeah.
And it was born from intense circumstances, too. After his second record, he went on a bit of a drug bender in Amsterdam before really buckling down on album 3. He would spend upwards of like 20 hours in marathon studio sessions to work out the songs and get everything just the way he wanted it. 20-hour days. Oh, it just sounds so exhausting to the ears and to the brain to go into a studio and make a song for 20 hours a day. Dre said, we don't wake up at 2 in the morning, call each other and say, I have an idea, we got to get into the studio. We just wait and see what happens when we get there. That's cool. Like, a lot of the record was born of spontaneity and just time in the studio, hands-on, evolving these songs. Not just ex nihilo, boom, idea. It's a crafting process. As for the release, right, there's a lot of pressure on Eminem for the Marshall Mathers LP. His label execs, they thought Eminem could be the first artist ever to sell 1 million copies of an album in its first week, which I couldn't believe hadn't happened up to 2000, but it had not. The Marshall Mathers LP came out on May 23rd, 2000, and wouldn't you know, it did the impossible. It sold 1.78 million units in its first week.
That's so many.
It's so many. It obviously shattered their goals, and it doubled the previous record for a rap album, which, by the way, was Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. And the sales just kept on going. I mean, 1.7 million in the first week is one thing, but by the end of its first month, it sold 3.6 million. It would spend 8 weeks on top of the Billboard 200, which is still the 4th best all-time run for a hip-hop album.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It ended up being the 2nd best-selling album for the entire year in 2000, which, of course, it was outpaced only by NSYNC with No Strings Attached. You can learn more about them and their limeheads on episode 95. They're the only ones that beat Eminem that year. And then 9 years later, the Marshall Mathers LP proved to be the 4th best-selling album the entire decade. I found a stat, too, that says, and I'm going to have to quote it directly so that I can make sure I get it exactly right. According to Billboard, as of 2022, so a few years ago, the Marshall Mathers LP is one of the 15 best performing 21st century albums without any of its singles being #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. So I think that goes to show you that, I mean, even though the songs didn't make it to #1, the whole album is consistently pretty strong because it managed to get so high up in the charts too. Today, the Marshall Mathers LP is certified diamond for 10 million units sold in the United States. Worldwide, it's moved around 25 million, which makes it roughly the 44th best-selling album of all time. And unbelievably, it is still not Eminem's bestseller. This is the 44th best-selling album of all time, and the Eminem Show still has it beat.
Wild.
And that's the one that you know. You contributed to that stat. Bravo.
You're welcome.
Don't thank me.
I wasn't.
Well, yeah, I guess I would have been thanking you. Don't welcome me, welcome Eminem.
I wasn't. I was welcoming Eminem.
Good, because he's backstage right now.
Oh!
Come on out, Marshall. Oh, imagine if he was. This would be the greatest podcast in the world.
Yeah.
The Marshall Mathers LP today has been ranked as high as number 145 on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest albums of all time. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, they also did release a clean version of the record. I don't know why you'd even bother. Like, some records, I get it, right? But why are you listening to a clean Eminem record? What's left?
Not much.
No, not much. They had to replace entire tracks on the Marshall Mathers LP for the clean version. And author Rayford Gins says that the clean version resembles a cross between a cell phone chat with terrible reception and a noted hip-hop lyricist suffering from an incurable case of hiccups. Because there's so many blank spots, so many moments where the lyrics have to cut out. Just why even bother? I don't know. We do release a clean version of the podcast every week. Good luck finding the explicit one, though. Explicit spin, it's just called Bleep It. So that's the Marshall Mathers LP. After that, things only continued to skyrocket for Eminem. He took on a handful of big-ticket tours. He performed with Elton John at the Grammys. He had that feature on Jay-Z's The Blueprint, which we already covered in depth on episode 160. He's a renegade. And then, of course, the Eminem Show, like I said, was even bigger than the Marshall Mathers LP. It was the best-selling record of 2002, and it moved another 1 million copies in its first week. And then he did Encore, and he entered Rehab, and he took a 5-year-long hiatus. Then he roared back onto the scene with 2009's Relapse, then Recovery, and so on and so forth. Eminem was the first artist ever to have 2 year-end best-selling records, which is remarkable. Again, can't believe it took till Eminem in the 2000s for that, but it's true. He also did a sequel to the Marshall Mathers LP. He worked on music for the film Southpaw, and much, much more. To date, Eminem has put out 12 studio albums. His most recent, The Death of Slim Shady, parentheses, coup de grace, came out on July 12th, 2024, and it went to number 1 on many a chart. Overall, man, Eminem is the best-selling rapper of all time, and the best-selling artist of the 2000s, selling more than 32.25 million units in the United States alone. He's got more than 50 platinum certifications, and 11 of his 12 albums have been number 1 hits. The lone exception is his first record, which was, again, unsurprisingly a flop. He also had major singles, too, in that time, like Lose Yourself and When I'm Gone, Not Afraid, Berserk, Rap God, Kill Shot, which is his Machine Gun Kelly diss track. Our resident certified buffoon got taken down by Eminem. He put out Godzilla and Houdini, like lots of popular Eminem songs there amongst his 60 singles. Most recently, in the world of Eminem, you might have seen a documentary that they made lately called Stans, which details his rise to fame through the eyes of all of his fans. That one just came out in theaters in early August of 2025, so I hope you saw it. Otherwise, it's probably gone now. Well, certainly it is. Probably streaming somewhere, but who knows? As for his awards and accolades, just buckle up, right? Eminem has earned 151 major awards on 393 nominations, including an Academy Award for Best Original Song for Lose Yourself. He has 8 American Music Awards, 5 BET Award nominations, and 1 BET Hip Hop Award. He's got 17 Billboard Music Awards on many, many more nominations. He's got some BMI Awards, 11 Detroit Music Awards, 7 Best Hip Hop or Urban Artist Echo Awards, a literal ton, maybe, a figurative ton is more literally correct, but it's fine. A ton of MTV VMA Awards, 6 People's Choice Awards, and 11 Teen Choice Awards. He's got 15 Grammys on 47 nominations. He's Rolling Stone's 83rd greatest artist of all time and 91st greatest songwriter of all time, which is remarkable. And he also holds 13 Guinness World Records, including fastest selling rap artist for the Marshall Mathers LP in 2000. And he's got the most successive albums to debut at number 1 in the US as a solo artist, and most words in a hit single with Rap God, which features 1,560 words in 6 minutes. That's an average of 4.28 words per second in Rap God.
That's nuts.
It is. I feel like if we condensed our podcast down to that speed, it'd be done in 5 minutes. That's an exaggeration, but it wouldn't be many.
Yeah, it'd be close.
Oh, and the last thing about Eminem and his awards is he was, somewhat controversially, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022.
That is probably controversial.
Yeah, a lot of the hardcore rock fans were like, what the heck? But also, I get it. I mean, he was such an influential figure in music.
Yeah, but not in rock.
Not exactly. But rock has changed a lot, too.
Sure.
I mean, listen to Berserk. It's as much of a rock song as anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I've got on Eminem. Now you know everything there is to know about that small, round, delicious confectionery. Well, maybe not everything there is to know.
But all you're gonna know.
Perhaps. Do you know that there's an M&Ms like fandom wiki? I'm back to the candy, by the way, not the rapper again.
Oh, okay.
But the wiki is wild because there's pages for all the spokes candies, and then there's a tab for villains. And you would not believe some of the villains of the Eminem cinematic universe.
Yeah? Like what? Give me one.
Name one. Darth Vader.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
There's the Lost M&Ms tribe, who are cannibals.
What? That's wild. Now, okay, that's the one you should have gone with.
Well, Apologies. Alignment. Evil. Let's see. They appeared to promote the Lost Tribe promotion in 2012. Yellow, Eminem, and his friends set a course following his ancestors' directions to find a lost tribe, who then proceed to attempt to cannibalize them. Long ago, Methusias Yellow found them, but he was never seen again.
Wild.
Methusias Yellow, he's an explorer. Great Uncle Yellow, as he's known. Then there's Mr. Runch. He's a dangerous peanut, determined to become an M&M.
Insane.
Other villains include Halle Berry
That one got me.
and Baby Bird, and unidentified hostage-taking criminal.
Wild. Well, we ready for the mixtaper?
Yes, we are. I'm done perusing the Eminem wiki again. Do that on your own time. Really interesting stuff. Back to Eminem the guy with some deep-cut facts.
I mean, we can't be guaranteed.
Well, no, 4 deep-cut new things that we get to learn about Eminem.
No, I'm just saying. No guarantee we're back to Eminem the guy. I mean, it is the mixtaper we're talking about.
That's true.
I'm just saying, be on the lookout for, facts that could be true about M&Ms.
I know I'm so scared of it, but hopefully, as I've already demonstrated, my knowledge of the M&Ms is extensive. So I'm hopeful that the mixtaper will shy away from, for lack of a better term, snail mailing me on these facts and spins.
I think that's what it's called. I think that is the best term.
It's true. Get him on out here.
Hey, it's me, the Mixtaper.
Hello, Mixtaper. He does exist.
Who does exist?
Sorry, that's a reference to the infamous M&Ms with Santa Christmas commercial.
Because
you're like a mythological creature that I'm encountering for the, yeah.
I appreciate you thinking I'm mythological.
Well, less mythological and more just fake.
Dang.
I don't know how that relates to the Santa commercial, though. If you're a kid listening to the M&M episode for some reason, don't read into that.
Oops. Are you ready to learn 4 new facts about M&Ms this week?
What? You said M&Ms, like the candy.
No, well, did I? I think you're hearing things.
I think that's what I heard.
Get your ears checked.
Maybe I should. Up first, he's candy coated, so he doesn't melt in your hand.
He's got thick skin. No.
Oh, clever. Everybody knows Eminem's a little crybaby. Try harder.
Yeah. He was once strapped to a rocket.
I started typing like that was going to be the real fact. Yeah, I don't think he was once strapped to a rocket.
I'm just looking for things true about M&Ms that I could say were true about Eminem.
I don't know if there's too much.
All right, let's get into our real first fact that you can actually write down.
His uncle Methusias Yellow was eaten by cannibals.
Eminem, famous for his feuds.
Yes. No.
What?
I'm sorry, I said yes because he is famous for his feuds. No, because that sounds like it could perfectly lead into another fast-fired facts.
Oh, no, not fast-fired facting.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Thank goodness.
We're just talking about a very specific feud he had live on TV.
Oh, feud live on TV. Okay.
He once got into a feud with an insult comic.
Ooh, well, that sounds like he didn't know what he was signing up for. What insult comic?
Triumph the insult comic dog.
A dog?
Yeah.
This is like a puppet dog that insults people?
It's a hand puppet, yeah.
Oh. Unless, sorry for all the kids that are listening to the Eminem episode for some reason, very real dog that insults people. Keep the illusion alive,
Yeah. Triumph the insult comic dog, a sarcastic hand puppet.
I've never heard of this dog. What's the dog say to him that makes him so mad? I guess to him or about him.
Just, generic insult things, calling him a bad rapper, just verbal jabs.
Okay. And Eminem's there, and he knows Eminem's there.
Oh, yeah. Eminem grabs him by the throat and shoves him away.
By the throat or by the wrist?
Well, by the dog's throat.
Okay. What is this for? What's this on?
This was at the 2002 MTV Video Music Awards ceremony.
So they're like presenting?
No, they were just sitting near each other, and tension built throughout the night as Insult Comic kept hurling jabs Eminem's way, including during his acceptance speech when he won an award.
Oh, the dog interrupted his acceptance speech?
The dog and techno artist Moby also threw some verbal jabs in.
What's Moby doing here? Why?
Just they were all sitting near each other, it seems like.
Just heckling?
Eminem and Moby kind of already had a beef going prior to the night, but I think Moby just took the opportunity to get in some hits.
Wow. What's Eminem say? Does he just shove the dog around? Does he address Moby at all? Like, what? I mean, if this wasn't planned, he'd be pretty mad, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, yeah, he tells Moby he's not afraid to hit someone with glasses. Like, while he's up on stage.
Okay.
That's what he says.
So interesting.
Because Moby starts, like, booing him or something. He says, keep booing. I'll hit a man with glasses.
I don't even know what to make of this.
But Triumph, later that night, does a press interview where he's put on a neck brace and says that Eminem needs to lighten up.
Wow. Is this is some sort of stunt, right? This is some sort of bit that Eminem is in on with the dog, right?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Later on, he goes on to impersonate Triumph in his song Butt Like That. But it doesn't say butt.
No, it says Triumph because he was a butt.
It's always hard to tell sometimes with Eminem if it's a real beef or not, but this one seemed real.
Yeah, but I don't think Eminem would entertain it being a puppet. I think he would just call the puppeteer out on his stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Not me.
This is hilarious. I think this is a spin.
Thinks it's a spin. Any reason?
Yeah, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like Eminem would let this happen if he wasn't in on it. And if he was in on it, I don't know what Moby has to do with anything. Like, I just don't know.
This is a true fact.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The feuding puppet dog was real.
Yeah, Eminem got heckled by a puppet dog and started a little feud.
And Moby.
And Moby. Triumph apparently also heckled other celebrities like Moby themselves, R. Kelly, and the Olsen twins at that.
Okay, well, R. Kelly kind of deserved it. I bet Triumph didn't heckle him enough.
Fair enough. But yeah, on his track But Like That from his 2004 album Encore, he impersonates Triumph.
Every time I think of Moby, all I think about is the How I Met Your Mother New Year's Eve episode.
I know. Now I can tell you that this fact was the inspiration for our sock puppet last week.
Oh!
That interviewed Tom York. Good old Mr. Sock.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about two puppet facts in a row.
That's why when I asked like any reason why, I thought for sure you'd be like, well, we just had sock puppets last week.
Part of me thought it was true about M&Ms. Like, there was some ad campaign where the dog heckled the M&Ms.
Like you missed it on like the villains list.
Triumph the dog, yeah. So Eminem got into a dog fight on the VMAs.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Triumph, that means he probably ended up on a dartboard.
Uh-oh. That feels like the lead into the second fact.
Eminem keeps a dartboard of his rivals' faces.
Little tropey, honestly.
I mean, was it a trope when he did it, or is he the reason there's a trope? He's probably not the reason there's a trope.
No, probably not. I think people have been doing this way before Eminem was famous.
Yeah.
Well, who are his enemies? I like to picture that he has just a room of dartboards, and every time he gets a new enemy, he has to put up another dartboard.
He's like, I'll buy a new house specifically to have room for more dartboards.
My dartboard shed.
Yeah. Anytime he's in a feud with somebody, he'll put him on a dartboard.
And then throw darts at them.
Well, I presume.
Be funny if he didn't. Well, who all has he put on dartboards?
Well, the aforementioned puppet.
The puppet did make it, huh?
Yeah, that's right. No, he did. Yeah.
Well, I thought you were just speculating.
No, Triumph made it onto a dartboard. Apparently, Britney Spears made it on a dartboard.
Ooh, hit me, baby, one more time. And he said, okay.
In sync. And I wonder if that was like one dartboard that they all shared or if they each member got their own dartboard. I don't know.
Throwing darts like bye, bye, bye.
Some hip hop rivals like Ja Rule, Machine Gun Kelly, of course, had a dartboard.
Yeah.
Apparently, he decorates his home studio with dartboards.
Nice. It feels a little bit like the Petty Zoo in a certain way. Like, this just feels unnecessary, over the top. Like,
he's an unnecessary over-the-top individual.
I suppose. I just feel like he gets enough of that out in his music. The dartboard just feels like overkill.
Maybe.
Oh, it's such a trope. I'm going to say fact.
He's going with a true trope.
Yeah, because if anybody does it, I could see Eminem doing it. His song about Machine Gun Kelly was called Kill Shot. I mean, he's clearly got targets on the brain some of these times.
This is a spin.
Ah, man.
And you almost stumbled onto the inspiration right there. Kill shot, shots on the brain, dartboard. That's exactly where I came up with this.
Rats.
You were so close.
And yet, I was just on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
I was on the right side, by the way. Just for the record, I was on the right side of the Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem feud the whole time.
Oh, which one do I want to do next, and which one do I want to end with?
This is a tough call. Also, I don't think we've even mentioned yet that this is a Mixtober episode.
You mentioned it at the beginning with Connor, when you were talking about how much you liked Eminem, and that this was Mixtober, and so you felt like a good time to slot him in.
That's true. Go for something gruesome and edgy, and yeah.
Yeah. But it is Mixtober. I haven't mentioned it. It's my month.
Yeah. What even?
It is Mixtober. And that's probably why I'm 2 to zip right now. I'm powered up.
Yeah, you got that. It's like a full moon, but it's just a full month.
But also, you perform better from behind, so, we'll see how these last 2 go.
Well, it hasn't been true the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Maybe. Let's go here next. He sold his childhood home.
Sold his childhood home. Interesting, because he lived in so many different places. What childhood home are you talking about?
The Detroit home featured on the Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh. Well, yeah, he didn't need it anymore.
This very episode's album.
That's true. Very interesting coincidence.
It's not a coincidence if I picked this fact for that reason.
Well, that's true. Very interesting, not coincidence.
Or maybe is.
Well, why did he sell it? Other than he didn't need it. What makes this factor spin-worthy?
As merch.
As merch? Are you talking like models of his house?
No, his actual house.
He sold his actual house?
Or at least pieces of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Like, is that what he did? Demolish it and take pieces and give it to people?
He sure did. It was demolished, and then he sold limited edition bricks from that house.
That's awesome. How much did they go for?
Well, for that, we're going to have to play everybody's second favorite spin a game show. Guess that dollar amount.
How many of them were there? How limited of a quantity was this?
Well, maybe first I should tell you how it was presented.
Yeah, please.
The limited edition bricks were put in a display case that then had some text on it, says Eminem at the bottom of the display case. But it was put in a miniature little glass display case and numbered with a certificate of authenticity signed by Eminem himself.
So it's sealed in there. You don't even get to touch the brick.
Yeah, correct. I don't know if you could open it up or not, but it looks like it's sealed in there.
But it wasn't just a brick. It was a fashionable, fancy brick. Did you get to know where in the house the brick came from? That's what I want to know. What wall?
Yeah, I'd probably not.
Probably not. That'd be way too hard to keep track of. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a $400 item.
You want to do guess that dollar amount or guess that brick amount first? Which game show you want to play?
Oh, I don't like either of them. But since I've already taken a guess at dollar.
You're saying how much?
It sounds like a $400 item.
Less.
Okay. A $200 item.
More.
Getting closer. Dare I say, $300 item.
More.
$350.
About $350.
There we go.
But a little less.
Oh, man. Why?
I said about $350.
$340.
A little less.
$330.
A little less.
$320.
Teeny tiny bit less.
$315.
Teeny tiny bit less.
$312.
Teeny tiny bit less.
$311.
Teeny bit more.
It can't be $311.50. I won't. I refuse to play.
Wait, did you say 312?
Yeah.
Slightly more, but just say more on that one, not less. A teeny bit more than 312.
Oh my gosh. 313.
313, aka Detroit's area code.
Oh my gosh.
The Detroit home was sold for the price of its area code.
And how many bricks?
313. Well, go ahead, take your first guess.
How big was the house? Square footage. What are we talking?
I mean, you've seen a picture of it.
That's true. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks to me like 950 bricks.
Less.
If this is a spin and you're just making it up and I'm guessing and guessing and guessing, that's going to be annoying. 800 bricks.
I said less.
I went down.
I know, but I didn't say teeny tiny bit less. I said less.
313 bricks.
I didn't say a ton less. I just said less. So more.
Oh my gosh. 500 bricks.
More.
700 bricks.
700 bricks.
How is 800?
The answer.
Man. So 800 is a teeny bit less and 700 is just less?
Well, you started at 900, right? And I said less, and you only went down by 100.
700 bricks at $313 a piece.
Indeed.
That's at least $400.
Good math there. That one I can tell you did yourself.
Thank you.
If you were curious about the math, that house sold for an estimated price of $219,100.
Like brick for brick?
Yeah.
Probably a pretty good deal, honestly, for it. So what's all the money for? Does he just keep it? Or does he use it for something specific? The Detroit-themed price.
Yeah, it was just merch.
Man, interesting. That kind of made me think it would be for charity or something, but I guess not.
I don't think it was. No, I don't think so.
Very funny, selling his house brick by brick. I think it's a spin. I think I did all that guessing for nothing.
You think I'd make you do that?
Yes.
You think I'd be that dastardly?
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I think it's a spin.
Oh, you know me so well. This is a true fact.
Oh, no. I kind of thought it might be true, but I don't know. I didn't want to believe it.
It's a true fact.
Because what an idea.
This happened in 2016. You didn't ask when, but this happened in 2016 to mark the 16th anniversary of the Marshall Mathers LP.
Wow.
And along with the brick and the certificate of authenticity, you also got a cassette re-release of the album and a dog tag made from wood from the house.
Wow, they're worth a lot more than $300 now.
Are they?
This one I'm seeing is $4,000 on eBay. This one's $2,700. This one's $8,000.
Wow.
Autographed brick and dog tags. Marshall Mathers LP cassette.
Yep. Well, that was a fun one. Nice to lock in my win for the week. Let's move on to our final ramp.
Yeah, final ramp for Eminem and Mixtober. I'm scared already.
He once used a chainsaw to kill a barracuda.
Good grief. Well, I can't help but think this is headed to the familiar territory of the Machine Gun Kelly feud. Because Machine Gun Kelly's alien name was Barracuda, right? Did he, cut up an effigy of Machine Gun Kelly with a chainsaw?
That would be wild, but no.
Okay. They're talking about a literal barracuda?
No, actually, it's just a funny coincidence. It's not related to Machine Gun Kelly at all.
Okay. Not related. A literal barracuda?
No.
Okay.
That was the dude's nickname, or his street name.
His street name was Barracuda.
Yeah.
Eminem kills him with a chainsaw?
Yeah.
In real life?
While dressed in the Punisher's skull logo.
Okay. Is this from a movie or something?
Alongside his best buddy Frank Castle, a.k.a. the Punisher.
Cool.
A.k.a. a Marvel anti-hero.
Yeah, in a movie.
Well, he's had a TV show.
Oh, a TV show? I don't know anything about the Punisher.
Well, the Punisher's had it. He's one from the Netflix Marvel shows when they were doing Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all that. Punisher was one of them.
Right, okay.
But he's a big part of the Daredevil universe. But he's an anti-hero who just goes around shooting bad guys and taking them off the streets because he's sick and tired of all the real heroes not permanently eliminating the problem.
Gotcha. He's punishing.
Yeah, he punishes people, exactly.
And so Eminem's in the show as a henchman?
No, absolutely not at all. The Punisher works alone, usually, at least in the show. But this isn't even in a show.
Oh, what is this?
This is in a comic book.
Oh, fun. Didn't even think about that. What comic?
A Marvel's Punisher comic book.
Well, logical.
Titled Eminem/Punisher: Kill You.
Nice. Well, that's like the song.
Uh-huh.
When did this come out? When did this exist?
2009.
That's a while ago.
Yep.
Whose idea was this? Is this Marvel saying, hey, let's collaborate with Eminem? Or Eminem going, I always loved comics. Let's do the Punisher thing.
Yeah, I don't know who reached out to who, but it was a collaboration between the two. It was an 8-page promotional comic.
Oh.
I tend to think probably Eminem and his team reached out to Marvel to help promote the release of that album that Kill You's on.
Well, but Kill You's on this one from 2000, and it didn't need promotion.
Oh, that's true. I just assume he was doing something that needed promoting.
Yeah, probably.
That's my assumption.
Reasonable. Kind of reminded me of Sharknado here, where they use the chainsaw to cut through the shark.
Yeah, well, they're roaming the streets, dispensing out justice, or their version of it. And at one point, he uses a chainsaw to dispatch an enemy named Barracuda.
How likely is it that this is an Eminem thing? Like the candy, What if they worked with the Punisher?
How closely did you look at the villains list? Was there a Barracuda on there?
No, there wasn't, but I think that's only for the commercials. I don't know. The Eminem wiki is confusing. It'd be funny, though. Imagine the Eminems using a chainsaw to murder anybody. Oh, I think this is probably a fact. I'm going to say fact.
Going with fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, Eminem wanted to do comic books. Maybe that's just the bait that I'm taking. But that's what he liked. I mean, he was a fan.
This is a true fact.
Hey, there's my one.
He gets one.
Glad I didn't get shut out in Mixtober, though. That would have been embarrassing. Eminem-embarrassing. It already kind of was.
The synopsis for this 8-page comic. Eminem is performing a concert, and when the show concludes, he leaves in a limo, but the limo stopped by the Punisher who's standing in the middle of the street right where they need to go. So Eminem, in, true sock puppet fashion, gets out to try to shove him out of the way.
Yep.
But Punisher merely opens fire on them, killing many of his bodyguards, and Eminem runs away and is pulled into a building by Barracuda. Believing Barracuda to have saved him, Eminem goes with him to a house and waits to ambush the Punisher. Eminem gets the drop on the Punisher, smacks him in the face with the butt of a gun, and knocks him out, but quickly finds out Punisher wasn't after him and was actually after Barracuda, because Barracuda shoots Eminem in a non-vital organ, causing him to become knocked out. Eminem wakes up on a boat chained to the Punisher outside Detroit.
Oh, gosh.
Punisher starts to argue with him about their situation. Barracuda arrives to kill them because apparently he couldn't just kill them while they were both unconscious. Had to do it on a boat. And throws Eminem off the boat and onto the frozen water, but it does not break. Barracuda goes looking for a sniper rifle, and the Punisher breaks free of his chains and starts attacking. A fight ensues. Eminem runs out onto the frozen lake and finds some ice fishers. And ice fishers, being huge Eminem fans, as we all know, the ice fishing industry loves Eminem, says they'd do anything for him. And so he asks to borrow one of their chainsaws used for cutting ice, runs back to the boat, and chops Barracuda up, saving the Punisher and becoming the hero. Punisher says he's going to go to the Parents Music Council for contracting a killer, and Eminem floats off into the sunset on a sheet of ice and says, "Do me a favor and tell him Shady sent you."
Wow.
And that is all you need to know about an 8-page comic starring Punisher and Eminem.
Remarkable. That's fun. So many fun Eminem facts.
I know.
And not a one of them was about M&Ms.
I know. Aren't you proud of me?
Yes, I'm very impressed. Nice restraint.
Self-control.
Well, Mixtaper, thanks for a Mixtobery round. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I shall.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Connor back on out here. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I did it again. Are you standing? Are you sitting?
I was gonna say, am I standing or sitting? Can you tell this time?
It sounds like you're sitting.
How about now?
Well, it sounds like you just rocked back in your chair to make it squeak, and you're still sitting.
You didn't fall for the trap. Congrats.
No, I did not. You are the way you are. Well, time to talk about this album art. This house that was sold brick by brick. Actually, that's not what the album art usually is on Spotify, but, we can talk about it.
Let's talk about the album art.
The album does have 2 covers. The one of Eminem sitting in front of his teenage house is probably the most iconic and well-known one. If you've been with us for a minute now, you did recently hear us discuss that on the Brick by Brick fact that the Mixtaper had. Mm-hmm. Eminem said, "I had mixed feelings because I had a lot of good and bad memories in that house. But to go back to where I grew up and finally say, I've made it, is the greatest feeling in the world to me." And I bet he kept a brick for himself.
Maybe he did. What if he didn't and then had to go buy one for like $2,000 or whatever you said?
I mean, that's nothing to him.
Yeah, that's fair.
He could probably get it for free if he just offered to meet the person that had it and exchange it. So that's one cover. The other cover, and the one that you see of the normal version of the album on Spotify, is Eminem curled up under a loading dock with bottles of alcohol and pills all over the ground. Critics thought that it was very fitting, right? There's a very visible contrast with his first record where he's imitating 97 Bonnie and Clyde, right? All bravado, all out with the trunk in the ocean. This one is him being very vulnerable. Entertainment Weekly said it was a contrast between the debut of Violent Fantasy, the acting out of a persona. The follow-up is the vulnerable artist unmasked. And again, right down to the album title, he leans into that, from the Slim Shady to the Marshall Mathers. Becoming human, decharacterizing. But he starts the album off in kind of a similar way, with Public Service Announcement 2000. On the Slim Shady LP, he started with Public Service Announcement. And that was just a little, basic intro to the album. Public Service Announcement 2000 is sassy on a whole other level. If you bought this album, you could kiss his butt. That voice is Jeff Bass from the Bass Brothers, who produced a lot of stuff for Eminem over the years. What do you think? Good tone setter, right? Public Service Announcement probably doesn't surprise you if you've listened to any Eminem at all.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. I mean, again, I think I've said, if you're going to do something like this, starting into the album is where you should put it.
Yeah. Eminem's music honestly probably should have a public service announcement anyway.
The problem is Eminem's public service announcements need a public service announcement before you listen to them.
Well, that comes by virtue of the name Eminem on the cover. Like, you should already have some kind of idea what you're getting into. Look at the track list. Oh, wow, a public service announcement. Okay, well, what's the first track here? Kill You?
Kill You.
Oh, shoot. Wow.
You were announced. It was announced to the public.
Yeah, you were warned. This is a Spin It public service announcement. We're going to talk about the rest of this album in a clean way. As much as we can. Goodness. Kill You sets the tone for the album musically in a lot of ways. It's all about the controversy of his first album and outrage about his lyrics, but people still love it, so it's still what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And boy, did he catch crap for it. Kill You was quoted as evidence against him in a Senate hearing. He gets pretty graphic pretty quickly.
He really does.
And it was very much by choice, because people were like, man, how's he going to respond after catching all this flack from the Slim Shady LP? He said, I wanted to start the album with that song because everybody in the press was like, what's he going to rap about? He's not miserable anymore. The whole idea of this song was to just say some of the most effed up stuff, just to let people know that I'm back, that I didn't lose it.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, he said I wasn't compromising and I didn't change. If anything, I got worse. It's really something. And I love the sound of it. I mean, Eminem has a really interesting style to his instrumentals. It's Dr. Dre inspired, but honestly, I like a lot of what Eminem's doing better than I've liked what I've heard from Dr. Dre. I think that's just because of the time period. Dre was revolutionary for his time.
But the revolutionary ones are never usually the ones that do it best, right?
Yeah.
So other people come along and say, wow, you've got something here. Let me do it my way. And sometimes they're able to iterate on what you revolutionized and make it better.
That's true. Well, even this is just a lot of Eminem's earlier stuff is just Dre working on his own craft, improving on himself. So I think it shows a lot of development from things like The Chronic, you know. Well, you don't know, but I know. Apparently, this is a track that Dre had on in the background when he was on a phone call with Eminem. And Eminem was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, what's that? What are you playing in the background? I'm hearing it. I need to make it. And so he asked to use it for his own single. And also, apparently, some parts of Kill You are the work of jazz pianist Jacques Lussier. He caught wind of this, and in 2002, he filed his own $10 million lawsuit demanding that the label destroy any copies of the album that they had and stop selling it and give him profits. It was settled out of court, so who knows what he got, but that's always fun. Kill You was a promotional single, came out before the album did, and it went to number 2 on the Bubbling Under R&B hip-hop singles chart, and it's certified gold in the US.
I really like Kill You.
Yeah.
The lyrics, very graphic. But,
yeah.
I like that one. He's a very fast rapper, first off.
Yeah, he is.
Which is impressive, but yet you can still understand him. You know, he's not one of those fast rappers that, like, all the words slur together, and you're not really sure they're even saying all the syllables in the words because they're trying to cram so many in.
He was well before the era of mumble rap.
Yeah. So it's like he's fast, but with skill. And I like some of the rhythmic beats going on, especially towards the end of the song with the, like, pauses and stuff.
Yeah. And listen, just the way that he makes his lyrics everywhere are so interesting. I ain't gonna shoot you. I'm gonna pull you to this bullet and put it through you. Like, pull, bullet, put it, shoot you through you. Like, there's so much happening internal rhyme-wise in every one of these lyrics.
Yeah.
I invented violence. You vile, venomous, volatile, vicious, vain, Vicodin. Like, come on. That's crazy stuff. He just goes for it.
Yeah, he does. Gotta respect it.
Blood, guts, guns, cuts, knives, lives, wives, nuns, etc. He just talks about it all. And that's in the first verse.
Yep.
There's just so much. There's so many lyrics and so many tracks. We're going to have to, like, be quick to get through them because there's 18 here. But Kill You is really already, like, you can tell if you've listened to the Slim Shady LP, Kill You is already such an elevation from most of the stuff he was doing there. A lot of character growth. And then, once you pass Kill You, I mean, you hit one of the biggest Eminem songs of all time. Probably the most famous track from the record, or if not, a very close second to the Real Slim Shady, and that is Stan. Stan was the third single from the album. It went to number 51 on the Hot 100 and was a chart topper in 12 countries, and it's really one of his signature songs. Rolling Stone called it one of the 500 greatest songs of all time. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame deemed Stan one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll, and it, I mean, straight up turned into slang. Because you've heard of a stan in a fandom, right? somebody who's a really big fan of a character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that comes straight from this. Based on this stan, it was officially added to the Oxford English Dictionary.
Yeah, I mean, that's power right there. I mean, that's just wild.
Yeah.
It's just such a good song.
It is. The chorus of this song samples a song by Dido called Thank You.
We should do Dido.
You think?
I just liked it. I liked the sample.
Yeah, maybe we should. Well, you like the sample, and producer The 45 King heard that song in a movie, the Dido song, and said, oh man, I have to make a sample of that. And he made its way to Eminem. And so Eminem gets the song and he hears the lyric, your picture on my wall reminds me that it's not so bad. He said, that's it. Like the idea came to him fully formed. He started writing about his own personal experiences with fans that were a little too parasocial and personal. Before parasocial was kind of a term in the public consciousness, that's what this is about. He gets letters from all these people, like the fictional Stan. Eminem said that the song could be about somebody who takes me too seriously. So I knew what I was going to write about before I wrote it. And it's the perfect example of Eminem as a short-form storyteller. Like if you listen to no other Eminem song, it should probably be Stan. It tells the story of an obsessed stalker fan who's writing him letters saying, hey, why won't you write me back? And he gets progressively madder and madder. He makes a cassette tape recording as he drives his pregnant girlfriend off a bridge in the back of his car. Not great, but that's like the whole point is the fans take the songs too literally. Stan is not getting it. He needs help. And Eminem finally responds to him, and then in the end of the song, the twist is that he realizes, oh, that guy that I saw in the news the other week, that was you. What an awful, I mean, that'd be a hard thing to go through as an artist.
It's a 6 minute and 44-second song.
Yeah, he's got lots to say.
It flies by.
Yeah, it does. It's the longest song on the album, and there are some long songs on this album. It's wild because there's some really long songs and really short songs, and there's like no in between.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the longest, right?
Yeah. And also, the third verse of this song, which is the cassette tape one, right? Where he's driving on the bridge, Stan is, with his girlfriend in the trunk. That was completely taped over. He did a really great take in the studio, and he just wanted to redo the last 3 lines. And he said, just run it back so I could do the last 3 lines again because the rest of it's good. The engineer was high, like super high, and then ran it back to the beginning of the verse. And Eminem couldn't salvage the tape. He swears that the first version he did was so much better than the one that ended up on the record. So that's a shame, because the third one on the record's already awesome. Imagine what a better one would have been. Eminem also performed Stan with Elton John at the Grammys. That's the collab that they did.
That's awesome.
Yes, and he did it because a lot of people were still accusing him of being rampantly homophobic, and so he performed with Elton John to say, look, like, shut up. Also, at his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2022, he played Stan with Ed Sheeran, which feels a little surreal. And Stan has been a song that's generated just a huge response, right? Fans obviously were rabid for it. And then artists that aren't Eminem have also released like response tracks to Stan, either emulating the epistolary style of like writing letters or talking to Eminem directly, or otherwise just like trying to play on the song itself. So many artists have released Stan follow-ups. But Eminem even self-references Stan in plenty of other works like Kill Shot and The Ringer. He does it in features like his song Calm Down with Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you?
You gotta, because if it's going to be your signature song, yeah, you might as well expand that lore. And of course, he made his own sequel song to Stan, too, where Stan's younger brother hunts down and kills Eminem.
He's lucky Eminem didn't have any ice fishermen nearby to help him out.
Yeah, to provide him with chainsaws.
Well, yeah. The ice fishermen said that, they'd do anything for him because they were such big fans, such as give him a chainsaw to cut somebody up with.
Stan 3 would be wild if that was the case. So anyway, that's Stan. Big, long song.
That's Stan. Then you get a 10-second Paul skit.
The 10-second Paul skit to follow it up. The shortest song on the album. Yes, Paul. It's a little phone call with Eminem's lawyer, Paul Rosenberg. His lawyer says, hey, the last album was kind of a lot. Maybe you should tone it down a little bit. But he also is just giving up. He's telling Eminem, this is not going to sell. What are you doing? You're driving me crazy. Like, he's just exasperated.
And how wrong he was.
How wrong he really was. Yeah. Who knew, right?
Eminem knew.
He sure did.
Who knew?
Who knew is track 5. It's just, the same kind of stuff he was talking about before. Who knew that things would get so out of hand with people taking his lyrics to heart and acting out? How could he possibly be responsible for that? How could Eminem possibly have predicted it?
It is an interesting philosophical debate, right?
Yeah.
Over whether you have any responsibility over the things you say and how people react. Like how it's like illegal to
yell fire in a crowded theater?
Well, I was just thinking more so if I say, hey, go kill somebody and then you go and do it. Am I responsible or not? Even if I was joking or whatever, right?
Well, in that situation, yeah, you definitely are.
So that's a very obvious example, right? But then finding where the line actually is gets a bit more gray.
Especially when it's Eminem saying this on a public platform to an audience that he has no control over who's listening.
Yeah, where you're not speaking to a specific person, or, you know, if you don't give a specific direction, but they interpret it a certain way. Like, finding that line of where responsibility is a philosophical and legal debate still going on today.
Yeah, and Eminem clocked it right here in 2000 with Who Knew.
I like how he calls out the bus drivers.
Yeah.
He really just kind of calls out the entire school system. Bus drivers, gym teachers, just he's just like, it's not my fault, it's the schools. They're worse than me.
Yeah, right. Kids are learning this stuff from other places, and I'm just putting it out there. And of course, that's the thing that he would know, having grown up in other places and situations that have led him to write this kind of music.
Yeah.
Eminem just takes Eminem's not afraid to go after anybody, and he's usually gonna win that rap battle, that debate, that feud.
I think I'd win.
You think you'd beat Eminem in a rap beef?
I'm honestly scared to even joke about that.
I know. He'll come after us. Next album, he'll talk about some podcast that thought they could challenge him. And then we'll be like, that's us. And no one would believe us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never knew he would get that big. Never knew he'd affect this kid. It's amazing that he never did know that he would get that big. Like, I'm sure he had dreams and ambitions, but when you start out and just 2 or 3 albums in to get this big is gotta be mind-boggling. Up next, we get another skit, Steve Berman, in the same kind of vein of Paul. Just a little minute-long interjection with the president of sales at Interscope Records, trying to tell Eminem how to be successful, lamenting the content on the album, the usual stuff. But Eminem clearly knows better. I think pretty early on, he got free reign to do what he was going to do at the labels. Nobody would tell him to put this out, corporate-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet, it makes them a lot of money.
I like that he named it Steve Berman.
Yeah, it's true. He's not even afraid to name songs directly after the people he's making fun of in them.
I think it's the confidence is what gets him as far as he gets. I don't know if I'd have that level of confidence.
No, I wouldn't. I'd apologize.
And that's just the way that you are.
Then we kind of ditch the skits for a while. We won't have another skit for a couple tracks. But we get into The Way I Am. Another assertion that he just is whatever you say I am. Like, if you want to call me a person that's making kids violent, fine. If you're going to call me a stupid rapper, fine. If you're going to call me the greatest, fine. I don't care. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. I'm tired of changing people's minds, and I'm just doing me.
Just doing him.
Yeah, and he can't live a normal life anymore since all these fans and stans, dare I say, like the media, they're all over him. His life is just so different. There's a lot of downsides to being famous, and that's what he explores on The Way I Am. Eminem comes up with such good choruses. The Way That I Am is built on this interesting little piano run, and he kind of talks in a rhythm that is all kinds of backwards, like he puts emphasis on syllables in a really interesting way on The Way I Am.
And the bells.
Yeah, and the bells are fantastic. There's a really intense and ominous kind of vibe to The Way I Am between the piano and the bells. The Way I Am was the second single. It went to number 58 on the Hot 100 in the US and the top 10 in 6 other countries. It's also the title of Eminem's second autobiography. Yeah. He also talks a lot in the song about hypocrisy in media, how they'll cover school shootings relentlessly but ignore daily violence in underprivileged communities. Like, he really goes at it.
Yeah. I like how you can feel he's saying each word with such power.
Yes. And, like, disgust. His emotion is very clear.
Yeah.
And Eminem always kind of sounds mad.
Yeah.
I don't think there are very many songs where Eminem's not either being goofy or angry.
He's got goof mode and angry mode. That's all he's got.
No in-betweens.
Goof or oof.
Goof or oof. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Eminem is a goof or oof guy.
I do. I just really like like you said, the piano, the bells, and then that. What's at around like the 150 mark? Is that the where it goes, boom, boom, boom? Is that the bass of the piano? Is that what is that?
There's some really low notes in there. Yeah, I think it sounds like a synthesizer or something.
Yeah. Is that coming from the piano or a synthesizer? Or I can tell if you're just really slamming on the keys of the bottom notes of the piano. Or
I think all of those things are true. And that's what I mean, like, Dr. Dre does a great job of producing this album. Eminem doesn't, as far as I know, doesn't really play too many instruments on this record.
Sure.
So Dr. Dre is really the mastermind behind all this. And this is just such a rich, full, and deep sound that I thought, like, from what I've heard of Dre's other stuff, it's not the same. This is a real evolution for Dre as well as Eminem.
Hey, James, can I have your attention, please?
Yes.
I just wanted your attention.
Oh.
I didn't really have anything. I felt a little ignored.
I see.
Well, I was about to ask if you were standing up or sitting down.
I'll never tell.
No, I guess not. We're about to talk about a song where he walks the line between goof and oof. The Real Slim Shady.
The Real Slim Shady.
Huge hit.
A phrase that has become such a meme.
Has it? Like what? I don't think I've seen it memed anywhere.
Just like reference. It's a pop culture. It gets used a lot in skits. It gets referenced a lot in pop culture.
That's true. People say it and have never heard the song.
Which is also really funny.
That's true. Know the things you're referencing, people.
Yeah, don't blind reference, especially Eminem.
Yeah, you better be careful. The Real Slim Shady was popular. It went to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, which was his biggest hit at the time, and it was his first song to top the charts in the UK and Ireland. It's got 2 Billboard Music Awards, 2 MTV VMAs for Video of the Year and Best Male Video, and a Detroit Music Award. Plus, it got a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance, and it's certified 7 times platinum in the US, which is huge. That means 7 million people have heard this song. 7 million of your peers have been listening to The Real Slim Shady. This song was his attempt to make a hit single for the record, right? The last record had My Name Is, and that blew up and everyone loved it. And this record, for a while, didn't have a hit single. He succeeded in making this song with no time to spare. They added The Real Slim Shady literally hours before they had to turn in the record. So we almost didn't get one of Eminem's biggest and most iconic hits.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like how he calls out Will Smith in here.
He does.
It's not quite really calling out Will Smith. He's just, calling out the fact that people complain to him about his lyrics because Will Smith doesn't have to cuss to be...
Yeah, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Like, Eminem needs his gimmick.
Right. Exactly. So it's like it's less so calling out Will Smith and more calling out the people who try to compare him to Will Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to be shocking. He needs to be profane and crass. Like, that's his brand. That's what he's doing that no one else is doing in the same way.
At this point in time.
Yes, at this point in time. Obviously, people get inspired by Eminem and that changes. But wow, what a song.
Most popular song on this album.
Yeah. The show references a TV show, actually. An old game show called To Tell the Truth, which I hadn't heard of, but I looked up after learning about it for this song. They bring in a panel of judges, and then they have 3 people stand up there and say, I am the same person, right? They'd all stand up there and say, I'm Slim Shady. And then the second person would say, I'm Slim Shady, right? The third person would say the same. And then they have to tell facts about themselves. The panel gets to ask questions. And then they have to figure out who the real one is. So they vote on who the real one is. And then the host says, will the real, Slim Shady, please stand up? And that's how they do the reveal at the end of the show and see what judges were right. It's a fun show. The one I watched was from 1963. But the show, I guess, has been revived and rebooted several times. Most recently in 2022 with Anthony Anderson. Kind of a neat little show. Fun watch if you search it up.
I'll have to search it up.
Yeah, you get to play detective. But yes, this song kind of takes aim at Eminem's imitators and copycats. There's only one Eminem, and people just try and copy him. That's all the Real Slim Shady is. Easily a highlight of the album. Probably a playlist pick.
Oh.
Probably not mine.
Oh, well then probably not a playlist pick.
I'm just kidding. It might be mine. I don't know yet what I'm going to take. We'll find out. Up next, we get to talk about Remember Me. And who could forget him?
Who are you?
Oh, no, you've forgotten. Well, the song starts out with spray paint cans, tagging something. And then it features RBX and Sticky Fingers. They get featured on the song. So that's fun.
This one, who's doing most of the singing? Or the rapping, I guess?
The first verse is RBX, and the second verse is Sticky Fingers, and Eminem comes in the third verse.
I think it's verse 2 that I didn't... Because I like the intro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where it... Yeah, so Sticky Fingers is the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was alright. I liked the first and third. Sticky Fingers didn't stick.
That's funny. Yeah, it's fine. It's weird to hear a song on an Eminem album that is less than 1/3 Eminem.
That's true.
It ends up, ironically, not being a very memorable song. The chorus is nice. The big old Remember Me, just kind of screaming. But beyond that, I'm not really so sure that it is a big-time hit for me. At one point in Remember Me, he says, I'm trying to clean up my image, so I promised the critics I wouldn't say effing for 6 minutes. He does drop 4 more F-bombs in that time, but he doesn't say it as a present progressive verb for 7.5 minutes. So technically, he doesn't say effing, he just says F. I don't know if that counts as a win, but it's wild that he can't go 6 minutes without. I also really like I'm Back. It's built on one bass line that kind of repeats itself into oblivion, but it's really fun. It's just another reflective song about how he's become so famous so quickly. And again, I really like that so many of these songs are introspective and self-reflective and not just, like they were on the Slim Shady LP, another shocking violent story, or another 97 Bonnie and Clyde, another I don't care song. A lot of these songs are way more personal and therefore way more relatable.
Where did Slim Shady come from? Like the name.
The name.
Like where did he come up with being called Slim Shady?
Yeah, the name comes from the fact that he's small, and when he was a child being picked on, he was small. And then he's also super violent. So he says shady. He's slim and he's shady. So he puts his adjectives together. It's a little goof and a little oof.
Fair enough.
That's why they call him Slim Shady. This song could be a contender for the repetitive award, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, probably 70 times he says, I'm back in this song.
I'm back.
But then he goes, they call me Slim Shady. And then we move into Marshall Mathers, where he talks about his real name. Kind of a nice contrast to put these ones back to back.
I like the start of that with the guitar at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. It's eerie. Marshall Mathers, he kind of has an eerie melody to it. Actually, this whole run has been really interesting.
Yeah.
The Real Slim Shady. I'm the Real Slim Shady. Remember me? I'm back. And then Marshall Mathers, kind of taking off that mask. It's another critique of contemporary pop artists and bands. He kind of references and parodies a few. He's just a regular guy. He doesn't know why all this fuss is being made about him. It's very interesting, very fun. This song never really gets very much bigger than it does in the first verse. Drums, guitar, rapping, a little bit extra, but xylophone in there. But you get it stays pretty consistent throughout. There's no real big moments or...
Yeah, it doesn't, but I don't know. I just like the beat to it.
Yeah, I like the beat to all of these, honestly.
Yeah, correct. But this one specifically, I just really vibed with.
Okay. It's more of a ballad if you're looking to be the ballad guy. Although we get another kind of ballad in a minute. But first, we have to get through the Kaniff skit. Apologies in advance for that one. Don't listen to that one if you're sensitive. My first note for Kaniff was just ew. It's another one of Eminem's alter egos. He kind of stole it / co-owned it with Detroit rapper Aristotle, I guess. And yeah, he's beefing with the Insane Clown Posse. So he uses this Kaniff character and does the voice of both of the main Insane Clown Posse guys and just kind of lets him have it, so to speak.
Yeah, it's really gross.
Yeah, I understand why Eminem does a lot of what he does. This one could go. This one probably should have gone. Even if the label wants to tell him to clean up, you shouldn't put out a song like, I don't know, 97 Bonnie and Clyde. And he's like, too bad, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, fine, fair. I think if the label came up and said, you should cut this little 1 minute thing where you are very explicit and talking about the Insane Clown Posse. And I think he should have been like, fine, this is a concession I'll make. But he didn't.
He sure didn't.
But then we get into Drug Ballad, which is just what it sounds like. He's talking about struggling with drug addiction. It features vocals from Dinah Ray, and what a song.
It's not as ballady as I hoped.
No, not very. But there's a lot of background vocals in it.
There is.
Kind of an interesting style there, a new dynamic to this album. Eminem said, this song is just another one of those tracks that we did one day just messing around. I wrote the rhyme in about 20 minutes, all 3 verses. The hook was simple. I wanted to touch on how last year I was always messed up. Life's a big party for me. It was the first year that I blew up and did a lot of celebrating with a lot of drugs. I added that last part because it's just true. That's what this song is all about. These drugs really got a hold of me.
Oh, I do like the whoa-whoas.
Yes, love a good whoa-whoa. Little oof goof whoa-whoa.
Oof goof whoa-whoa.
I think Drug Ballad is a nice addition to the album. I think it just changes the vibes a little bit. 13 tracks in, things are getting a little slow. Just a good way to mix it up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then we get Amityville. What a song. Kind of a really aggressive hook on this one. What did you think of Amityville? He's mentally ill from Amityville.
My first question was, is Amityville a real place?
Amityville is a real place. It's not a place in Detroit, where Eminem is from, but it's a real place in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, and he says he's mentally ill from Amityville because, the parallel comes from Amityville's legendary and often sensationalized story about a mass murder in the New York town from the 1970s. Have you heard, perchance, of the book and film series The Amityville Horror?
No.
Oh, I kind of thought you would, with as many, horror movies as you've seen. But the parallel comes from Detroit being recently named the murder capital of the USA. Which I don't think it is anymore, but when Eminem was making this music, it was. So the parallel he's drawing is between the Amityville horror and mass murder that happened in Amityville, and then Detroit kind of being the new Amityville. So it's a deep reference to those two things.
Wild.
Yeah, it is. But it makes for a really interesting song. It's very interesting the way that he does this chorus. One person just says he's, and then he kind of double tracks and layers his voice to do mentally ill from Amityville. then he does Heal. You know, like that's an interesting structure to do. I think that's kind of a cool choice.
He's a cool choice. It's a very cool choice, actually.
Yeah.
I hadn't really considered it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unique. Nothing else is quite like it on the album. And it makes it memorable. Every song has its own little memorable quirks. There are also some awful lyrics in here, too. Don't worry about it. They're so bad.
There's some real bad lyrics in here, yeah. Don't look at the lyrics. A lot of dogs on this album.
Yeah.
Specifically, this track.
Only really like 1, 2.
There's 2 dogs.
That's true.
If you want to know who let them out, it was Slim Shady.
Slim Shady let the dogs out. On track 15, Bleep Please 2. We could call it Butterscotch.
Not to be confused with Butterscotch Please 1.
Yeah, Butterscotch Please. No, Butterscotch Please 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. This track, Eminem does a skit on his previous album that he called Bleep 1, Butterscotch 1. But this track is really like a sequel from Snoop Dogg's similarly titled first installment. So Snoop and Dre are on it. This song, surprisingly, hit number 61 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart and number 51 for airplay, and is certified gold in the US, which is interesting to me. It's never been my favorite. And I think that's just because I don't necessarily get as into Snoop Dogg and Dre as I do some of the other rap artists that we've talked about.
I like Snoop Dogg. He's a fun dude.
He's a cool guy. I think I like Snoop Dogg as a guy. Some of his music is just very different.
His music's okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
He's just a fun character to follow.
Yes, he certainly is. And so this song is just Eminem doing a Snoop Dogg song, basically.
Yeah.
Which makes it kind of feel out of place on this record. It's not as intense. Snoop Dogg's a very laid-back guy. This is not nearly as yelly, as loud, as in your face as the rest of them. But boy, if you want yelly and in your face, you don't have to wait long. 4 minutes and 48 seconds after the start of Butterscotch Please 2, we get Kim. After the sequel comes a prequel. Kim, it's a hard listen, but it's Eminem berating and screaming at his wife. And it's a prequel to the Slim Shady's 97 Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh.
Yeah, he and his daughter, they hide his wife's body in the ocean. And Kim is like the fight that happens before that. And Kim is dark. Like, it's not humorous like so many of these early tracks. All these songs he says dark things, but he says them in a lighthearted way. You're like, okay, that's obviously so silly. You goof, right? He's doing a little bit of goof. Kim is all oof.
All oof.
All oof. It's so...
And some heavy oof. Again, the instrumentation is just so, like, big and epic.
Yeah, it's so unsettling. This is an Eminem track. Like, I like a lot of what he's done. I won't come back to Kim very much. What's wild is Eminem made this song, and then he took it to his wife and he showed it to her, thinking that she would be flattered and so excited because it was all about her, which is absolute red flag behavior.
Yeah.
Like, I think you guys should communicate more. I think you should work that out a little better. Wow, it's just so intense. And it was the first song that Eminem recorded for the album, which makes sense because it builds on something from the last one. In his autobiography, he said, I wrote this song when Kim and I weren't together. We were broken up at the time, and this was at the end of '98. I remember I was watching a movie one day that inspired me to write a love song, but I didn't want to make a corny love song. It had to be some bugged out stuff. He said, I don't remember what movie it was, but I do remember feeling the frustration of us breaking up and having a daughter all in the mix. I really wanted to pour my heart out, but yet I wanted to scream. And so that's what he does. He just screams.
Yeah, imagine writing a song like this and thinking the other person's gonna like it.
Imagine writing a song like this about a fictional person. I can't even fathom. And to act it out so well, I don't know, man. Like, you could just tell this is real emotion for him.
Yeah.
He did all the vocals in one take for this song, by the way.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. Kim is a stressful song. Man, it was shocking. It was shocking. Among all of Eminem's shocking stuff, Kim kind of rises to the top as like, oh, okay. Then we kind of cruise towards the end of the album here. These last 3 tracks are some of the longest, which changes the pacing of the album really drastically for me.
Really?
I mean, the last 3 tracks take you 20 minutes. I'm rounding up, but you know, you get the idea. Under the Influence, it's not bad. The rap group D12 is featured on the track. It feels like there's no coming back from Kim. Under the Influence, I feel like, what? I feel stunned. I'm still like stun-locked from listening to Kim.
I wasn't maybe as stun-locked as you were.
No, probably not.
It is a bit long.
Yeah.
At first I was like, I really like the beat of Under the Influence. I was really into it. But somewhere between the 4 minute and the into the song, I just was done with it.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. And it's kind of a like circular logic kind of song. You should like my music. I'm so high while I'm writing songs. I'm writing songs about being high. I'm writing songs about being high, and I'm so high while I'm writing my songs. Like, okay, all right, dude. It doesn't really feel like it does anything new for the conversation. We've already had a drug ballad, but that said, I really do like Criminal. Criminal, I mean, he just talks about more about how people perceive him, about how people think he's a criminal. He's this awful person for doing all these things. There's a bank robbery spoof in there where he talks about being a sensationalist and just doing things to provoke. And I love the way that he punches in criminal, like it just jabs every time he says it. I like that. It's also meant to sum up the whole album as a whole, because on the Slim Shady LP, he had the last track was Still Don't Give an F. And he said, after I did Marshall Mathers, I felt like I still hadn't captured that Still Don't Give an F feel. And he said, the funniest stuff happens when I'm about to bail. He almost had given up on it entirely. He said, we were about to leave the studio for the day because we just couldn't come up with stuff. Jeff was in the next studio playing with his old piano, and he was playing this frantic piano loop that gave Criminal that sinister feel. All I had was, I'm a criminal. I hadn't filled in all the blanks yet, so I started writing the rhyme. And within 20 minutes, we were on our way out the door with a hook and the first 2 verses in hand. I went home and finished the last verse, which is amazing. He just made this whole song in like no time flat. I think it's a great closer. It leaves you on a high note. The Marshall Mathers LP does.
Criminal barely didn't make my top 3, personally.
Oh, so close. But on an album where there's 18 tracks.
There were a lot of tracks. I mean, holy crap.
Holy rap.
What a long album. Holy rap. Yeah, I don't know. There's almost too many tracks.
It's a long album.
It's just like, at this point, kind of just saying the same stuff.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
And so maybe split it up between multiple albums so I don't get too bogged down.
I don't know, though. I mean, he's putting out an album every year.
It's true. I mean, I guess he has a lot to say.
He does, and a lot of it is vulgar. Well, let's get into some final spin.
Where we'll say some vulgar things.
Not really. I plan on saying my usual unvulgar things.
Oh, well, that makes one of us.
Uh-oh. I'll get the censor button ready. For me, the Marshall Mathers LP was really interesting. I, again, thought it was a big improvement over the Slim Shady LP. A really good look into Eminem as a character, as a person. I like that he opens up a little bit here, but he does it in his signature kind of way. For the music, giving it an 81. A lot of these songs are very well constructed. A lot of good hooks and choruses, and I like that a lot. I'm giving the lyrics an 83. They're so vulgar, but the ways that he says things is so creative and so rhythmic and so rhymey. He just has a knack for a good rap lyric. That's absolutely for sure. It's why he's one of the greatest of all time. Instruments and production, I'm giving an 86. I think it's a really well-produced album. All of these songs have a unique feeling, but they all kind of fit together. I feel like a lot of Eminem's songs, from what I've heard, could be shuffled and mixed and matched between LPs. It's not like the Marshall Mathers LP sonically has a very distinct sound, but it's an Eminem distinct sound, and I think that's cool. So 86 there. 87 for the overall vibe. Very important album for turn of the millennium hip hop. And if you want Eminem, if you like Eminem, you know exactly what you're getting. Vibe is consistent. Even if it's not my definite like go-to stuff all the time, I can appreciate it. So the overall score for the Marshall Mathers LP is an 84.3, which puts it at number 441, above Dua Lipa and Future Nostalgia, and weirdly below Vampire Weekend. It also lands at about 300 spots above the Slim Shady LP.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a huge growth. How about you? You self-proclaimed Eminem fan. Eminem being one of your favorite rappers of all time, I do have some expectations here.
I like Eminem. I don't mind the vulgar lyrics.
No, you heathen.
I don't think they're always necessary. They're not like necessary all the time.
Gratuitous.
I think sometimes he does it a little, but I don't know. I'm a fan of somebody who can rap passionately with clarity and impressively, whether that's speed or rhyme scheme or what have you. And I think Eminem is still one of the few that does all three of those things, and he was definitely one of the first.
True.
I like that he's got all this confidence and is just pissed off at everybody and isn't afraid to strike out at anybody who crosses him. I do think this album was a little long.
An hour and 12 minutes?
Yeah, I would have cut a couple tracks, probably would have cut most of the interludes, the skits and what have you.
Yeah. That'd save you like a whole 2 minutes.
But there's some real good stuff. My top 3 in album order. Stan.
Yeah.
The Way I Am.
No love for Steve Berman or Paul Skits.
That was sarcasm, right?
Yes. If one of your top 3 was the 10-second Paul Rosenberg skit, I would not know who you are anymore.
Up next, the Real Slim Shady.
Oh, stand up. Please stand up.
And honorable mention Honorable mentions going to Kim. As
Really?
crazy as that song is, I think it is so unique, and the craziness adds to the level of like, wow, like you need to hear the song at least once, you know?
Yeah, it's shocking.
And so I give it a honorable mention.
It's an essential Eminem song.
Yeah.
It's a key part of this album.
Yeah. So I give it a honorable mention.
And Criminal was close. Very interesting.
My playlist pick is actually gonna be Stan.
Yeah, once I was looking back, once you immediately wrote off the Real Slim Shady, I was like, oh, well, it's got to be Stan. Yeah.
It's Stan.
And that means mine has to be the Real Slim Shady.
Doesn't have to be, but it should be.
Yeah, it is. It is. I like a lot of the other songs on here, but none of them I want to hear as often as the Real Slim Shady. I'll put that on any time.
My score is gonna be 7 Dragé chocolate confectionaries out of 10.
Oh, like what M&Ms the candy are?
Exactly. Yeah, M&M the candies are apparently classified as what I believe is pronounced Dragé chocolate confectionery.
Okay, what's that mean?
If I'm pronouncing it right, a Dragé is a bite-sized confectionery with a hard outer shell.
Oh, such as a sugared almond or a chocolate. Center covered with a coating. Yeah, dragé. I think technically M&Ms are like lentil candies. A little dragé lentil for your M&M episode. Fantastic. 7 does surprise me, since you've said M&M is one of your favorites from the beginning. I don't disagree with your score. It's not what I expected, based on what you've previously said about M&M.
A 7? I wanted to pick this album.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you would have gone for the M&M show or something.
Yes, I absolutely would have gone for the M&M show.
Having not listened to it yet, I will have to check it out. And maybe I'll go back on that and say we should have picked it. But for now, here's where we ended up.
Yeah. Well, Eminem is up there on my list of rappers. Is not this album.
It's interesting because it's got such iconic tracks like Stan and Slim Shady.
Yeah, but even those aren't, I mean, they're iconic in the sense of, like, when you think of Eminem, you think of those tracks because they're from, like, when he was really getting started, right?
Yeah.
But, like, only the Real Slim Shady and Stan, specifically those two, are the only, like, two big ones compared to, like, his other hits, like Without Me or Mockingbird or Superman.
I don't think I've heard any of those songs.
Yeah, you probably haven't gotten to that part of his discography yet if you're going in order.
That's roughly what I'm doing.
Like, just his top 10 on Spotify, yeah. I mean, most of it's coming from the Eminem show. Stan and Real Slim Shady do make top 10, but that's it. The rest of the album, I mean, 2 out of 18? I mean...
Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 18 might be.
So that's just not what I would have picked.
Okay, well, where in the 7s does it end up? I'm curious to know how much rap is above this.
It's gonna go... Ooh, that's tough. Where in the 7s? The 7s have some interesting stuff going on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it right below Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Whoa, okay. So above it, we have Childish Gambino, not really rap, but a little bit. Both Olivia Rodrigo albums, by the way, which is fun. We've got Doechii.
There's not a lot of rap above it.
No, there's not. Wiz Khalifa, Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I said the only ones would be Lil Nas X and old Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, he was a 9. Well, surprising, but solid. That's fun.
I'm honestly curious to see what you think of the Eminem show when you get to that.
I know, me too. So far, he's only been improving. But that's another discussion for another episode in another year of redemption. Until then, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, including right here. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe. You can also find us on social media at SpinItPodOfficial on Instagram and Threads, and at SpinItPod on X and most other places. And of course, you can visit our website, www.spinitpod.com.
Tell your biggest hater about the podcast.
Whoa, that's cool.
Whoever you're in the middle of a feud with.
Imagine in Killshot, Eminem's just ragging on Machine Gun Kelly, and then he says, also, I think you need to check out this podcast. Love it. And Kendrick's not like us. He's like, say, Drake, I hear you like music podcasts. That'd be wild. But love it. Stay tuned for another Mixtober episode next week. And until then, keep
spinning.
Okay, now we got to talk about your favorite seasonal M&M flavor.
Oh, yeah, we did tease that, right?
Yep.
It is, drumroll please.
I'm drum rolling in my head.
Oh, okay. The cherry cordial M&Ms.
Oh, what season are those in? Are those a spring thing?
So they haven't done them in a while that I've seen, but they used to do them at Christmas. They would be at Christmas.
Okay, like a chocolate-covered cherry. That's awesome.
And then, weirdly, they would do them at Christmas, and then they like the first couple years it was just at Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And then after a few years of that, they then start doing them at Christmas, and then right again at Valentine's Day for like 1 or 2 Valentine's Day.
Yes.
They did it back to back. And then now they like, even at Christmas time or Valentine's Day, either one, I don't ever seem to see them.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. They might be rare. Discontinued.
They were so good.
Well, I'm glad we finished beating that horse.
We brought the horse back alive to then beat it back to death.
Yeah, we did. Also, the M&Ms have a stacked voice cast. How'd that happen?
That's what you get when you're a dragé chocolate confectionery.
It's true. Only the best for the dragé cast.